Just 2 weeks before the end of this year's expedition, Josh and team leader Eric fly high above the Arctic Circle to begin phase 2 of Eric's master plan. Having conquered the ruby deposit he discovered, he's set his sights on prospecting the barren Eki Glacier for gold.
Eki? Looks like it.
Time is running out, and Eric knows that to expand their territory beyond the red zone, they must work in small, efficient teams. Eki is his next target, but traveling to a faraway claim purely on speculation is a huge financial risk.
I'm looking at where we believe gold's gonna be. We have to go bare bones minimum to be able to afford this trip and get into these mountains, and it's a risk because we have way, way too much to lose.
Eric and Josh have to go back to basics and rely solely on their prospecting expertise. They'll have no communication with the outside world until the helicopter returns to the exact same spot in 72 hours.
This is it, man.
We're in the middle of absolute nowhere.
All right. Let's get to work here.
Just 1,400 miles from the top of the Earth. Eki is so far north that the miners will have 2 fewer hours of sunlight per day. To make things worse, Greenland's bitter wind blowing off the glacier brings with it lethal sub-zero temperatures.
There's no trees. It's just absolute rock. It looks like very, very harsh country. There's basically no shelter here.
Josh and Eric are a mere skeleton crew, miles from civilization. They must build a campsite shielded from the elements to have any hope of survival.
We're right up next to the Greenlandic ice sheet. And that wind sweeps off that ice sheet and runs across these mountains. And I don't think it's ever gonna stop. It's always gonna be windy up here, so all we have to rely on is our tents. Those tents fail, we're screwed.
The Eki expedition has just 2 days left to prospect for gold in unknown territory. They need to find a second viable claim to ensure the company's future, but winter is near. Eric's divide and conquer strategy finds the Dredge team 450 miles south of Eki, making their final push to prove out the upper lake for any sign of rubies.
This looks like a good place for camp, right?
Yes, this is a great spot, guys. We're here.
The miners have trekked for 8 hours to get to the upper lake right below the red zone, which, if loaded with rubies, could be even more lucrative than the red zone itself.
Here's our map, our claim boundaries. The reason we're going to the upper lake is because the red zone rubies are right above, and we know that those rubies will make it down off the mountain, down into that upper lake area.
The miners have taken a costly gamble, slinging the dredge to this new site.
Well, there it goes. Yeah, I hope your baby can make us some money.
Now it's on Chad to prove that dredging in Greenland can turn their fortunes around without breaking the bank.
Dredge is up in there somewhere, right?
It's about half a mile right over there. There it is.
The spot we got picked out for dredging is just about 100 feet above where the dredge is sitting.
Okay. Imagine if we would have had to carry this all up here, Americo?
No. Thank God it was slung.
Yeah, that was helpful.
Is everything here?
Looks like it's all there. Good deal.
Hey, Chad.
Gas, air hoses.
Chad, go with me. By the looks of these numbers, that dredge is a half a mile off of our claim. That dredge is not on our claim.
Trying to be funny.
No, you up.
There's no way.
Numbers are right here. Don't lie. We can't be 10 feet off of our claim. We can't be 100 feet. We can't be 200. We have to be on our claim, period. End of story.
We stood here 3 weeks ago with Josh. We were standing here. He's saying that we were on our claim.
The red zone is right above us here.
Where's the corner of our license?
We're good, all up in here.
And now you're telling me we're half a mile off?
Yes, that's exactly right. You put that dredge in the wrong spot.
We put the dredge in the wrong spot, and I was working off of bad information.
I'm standing with Josh, who should have had a map, should have had the coordinates burned into his mind. Those corners, he filed them. He's done nothing but talk about them for weeks.
I'm not gonna let you pass the buck on this. There's no one that's gonna save you on this. You know what we now have to do. I know what we have to do. And right now, you're gonna go tell the guys that we gotta move this dredge a half a mile. Just go tell the guys. I would have known where those boundaries are had I been Chad.
The team has no choice but to leave the area Chad had hoped would be extremely profitable and take the dredge to an untested part of the river. After a day-long hike, relocating the quarter-ton beast a half a mile will be a Herculean feat for the men.
Gator,
What's up?
dredge is in the wrong spot. This isn't our claim. We're about a half mile off on this line.
You guys didn't check it while you were here?
I was there with Josh. Fact of the matter is, we're half a mile off.
It's beyond me how they set up the dredge on somebody else's property. All three of you were
All
there.
three of us were here.
Did anyone have a GPS?
I took a reading.
You took a reading there, but Josh didn't check it against the claim boundaries.
There's no pointing fingers on this.
Jesse, you
So-
got to come to the realization your brother was here. He filed the claim. He's got the numbers. He's the manager of the company. We're running out of time, and we can't have these stupid mistakes. I mean, come on.
Well, somebody has to man up and realize this. We just spent how many thousands of dollars to get it dropped off in the wrong spot, so we got to hike it back down now a half a mile. We were supposed to show up today, set up camp, and maybe get the dredge in the water. And now we're already a day behind, and we haven't even done anything. I'm taking my back down to camp. Somebody come up with a game plan on how to get it apart and get it down there, and we'll deal with it. But I need to set up camp, because I'm gonna lose it.
Well, we're wasting time, you guys. Let's get our camp set up and let's frickin' work together to heal this. We got a situation, we gotta take care of it.
Let's get our camp set up, and let's try to get that dredge moved today.
We were up there for 9 days. They managed to dredge for 1 day and 2 hours. That's it, 3 men. You had a guy who's a mountaineer who's supposed to know trails. Okay, you have a guy who's in charge of the dredge, who's a master dredge guy. I've dealt with my whole life. And then Josh, who turned the freaking paperwork in for all this, was standing right there, and all 3 of them said yes. It was okay to be dropped there. And then we come down, and this is sitting there. That's a failure on all 3 of their parts. They have failed, the whole thing. Yeah. Everything was a failure. Them 9 days, they might as well sat in camp and drank coffee the whole time. Because that's the same thing we got from them. Worthless. All of them. We were supposed to show up today, set up camp, and maybe get the dredge in the water.